Welcome everybody. We're gonna be talking about the boy, the Don Exploud. I'm hype. I really love Exploud, man. Such a cool mon. Super underpowered in the real games. I mean, yeah, it has 140 base power boom burst and whatnot, but it's still not very good. It's garbage like everything else. So Exploud super sick. So first things most important to cover here is that it is now a pseudo. Okay, so it has the pseudo status, meaning it has the stats of a pseudo, all that good stuff. Yes, Gen 3 already had 2 pseudos, and they're actually going to have 3 because of Flygon. So yes, this is the 4th pseudo in Gen 3. Other gens will have like 2 to 3, but I figured Gen 3 already had 1 extra. Maybe I'll just fuck it. Maybe if something comes up or bouncing and I want 4 in another gen, then who cares? I will say 4 is probably the max, so I highly doubt there will be any more in Gen 3. So Exploud, consider himself lucky. I mostly did it because I felt like he could use a little bit more bulk. I initially had him as a semi-pseudo with 116, 136 offenses and 73 defenses and 104 HP, which is still very good, but I don't know. I felt like he could use the extra boost. So, I also have to do the evolution levels, and I forgot to change those. Whismer 25, then Loudred 45. There we go. So, back on topic. Yeah, these guys are fucking sick, okay? Huge stat boost all around for all of them. They also have a new ability called Amplifier. Very original, I know. It's just the most reasonable sounding thing. If you are new here, make sure you click the description link in the... I worded that very stupidly. Make sure you click the link in the description, and you can get a link to the Google Sheets for yourself, and you can check out all these awesome ass changes for yourself for all these Pokemon. Basically, every move is reworked, and there's 25 custom abilities, so I would definitely check out the move and ability changes, especially the move ones. Those are very important. So I do have handy guides for new abilities, so you can click the link and it'll directly take you to the ability, so you don't have to go scrolling and searching for it for yourself. So if you check the Amplify section, these are the first Amplify Pokemon. There will be more, don't worry. And of course, it makes perfect sense on them. And this is a great ability, okay? It gives them a 20% boost to their sound moves. So Boom Burst is nerfed because Boom Burst is on way more Pokemon, and Pokemon are way stronger now. So Boom Burst with 140 would be fucking absurd. Stuff like Hyper Beam was 160, but that has the drawback of dropping your special attack stat by 2. So having Boom Burst would, unless I give it to like 5 mons, which is not fun. I want to give it to more Pokemon. So 125 base power, no drawbacks. It's still an incredible move. It's really great still. So yes, it's a nerf, but however, when you consider Amplifier, Boom Burst is actually stronger than vanilla Boom Burst. Boom Burst is 150 base power. Not to mention, Exploud had fucking 91 special attack. Now he has 141. I think these stats fit Exploud very well. I think the pseudo status in general fits Exploud very well, given his design, and the fact that he's a mixed attacker means that he kind of needs at least semi-pseudo status, because basically if he was 550 base stat total, I would have to make him really slow, which is kind of a shame because his speed stat should be usable. He can boost his speed with Scarf, for example. In-game Scarf is incredible because you have the ability to prepare for battles. So for a fact that it's not like competitive. Like 73 speed for a competitive Scarf tier is not that good, but because all the other bullshit. But in game, 73 speed tier for a Scarf is incredible. You can just slap that on for a certain boss fight and then spam your strong ass moves and all your coverage moves and stuff, which he gets. I mean, Exploud already got an incredible array of coverage moves, but he gets even more now. There's a lot of awesome stuff I'll cover, but Amplifier is really sick. They also have very good bulk overall, 109, 78, 78. The pre-evolutions are much stronger. I'll get into those in a little bit, but I just want to cover the important things first. So Amplifier, yeah. Boom Burst becomes 150 base power. As you can see here, it says Synchronoise, Belch, both boost your special attack stat. So those are 120 base power moves that give you +1 special attack now, which is incredible. So for example, you can run a Salackberry Belch set with a 144 base power Belch that gives you +1 special attack each time you click it. And at +1 speed, you're very fast with investment. 73 base speed with +1 with a neutral nature is what? 367. That's outspeeding like plus speed nature base 110, base 1, almost base 120s actually. I got base 115ish you'll be at, which is very good. That's sort of neutral nature. With a plus nature, if you got lucky, then you're even faster. So yeah, that's awesome. And of course, the thing is, you should definitely adapt. Especially if you're doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, which is what this is balanced for. Say you got a minus speed plus defense nature. Okay, then you're going to be running tankier Exploud most of the time. Not that you're completely restricted to that, but that's just how this kind of thing works. You can adapt to whatever your natures and IVs are. For example, if you got like an adamant 0 special attack IVs or shit special attack IVs and very good attack IVs, then you're actually going to be stronger physically. Exploud is still a very good mixed attacker. It's not purely special. It actually has a very good physical move ball as well as special move ball. Not to mention, physically, it has access to Dragon Dance. Versus specially, it has access to Nasty Plot and Swords Dance and Bulk Up and all this other good stuff. But Nasty Plot and Swords Dance aren't that good. Nasty Plot is kind of ass unless you're using Double Dance or like webs or something. Obviously, he doesn't get webs, but you know, otherwise it's not that good. It's really not that good on Exploud. I mean, in competitively, not it's like a fucking wall breaker. Oh my god, dude, nothing. Yeah, but this is not competitive. It's in-game stuff. So the way that the battles function is just way different. So yeah, agility's good. DD is great for physical sets. 73 speed tier is pretty solid. I boosted a little bit. I think it's any higher speed would be kind of absurd for Exploud. Like, he doesn't look very fast. 68 is pretty fitting. Honestly, I would have kept it at 68. But you know, with the speed tier creep in this hack, I figured why not? Speed power creep, I guess you could call it. Speed creep, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Speed creep is a different term though. You know, 73 is very fair still. Oh, I didn't add him. I didn't add them to the speed tier. I gotta do that. Usually I'm very good with that, but I've been kind of off the last few days. So yeah, I did add them to the ability stuff. So I'll do that after the video, or I'll do it while I talk. Amplify is great. Okay, so Belch is awesome because again, you can get that +1 special attack. You can use Endure. Another great thing about Belch actually is that it will actually give you that boost no matter what. So for example, you can use Belch throughout the battle. If you consume any berry and then you switch back in later, so say you consume a berry, right? You select Endure or just select anything, you click that Belch, you know, then you gotta switch out. Say you kill 2 mons, now you have to switch out on whatever the hell's in. All right, no big deal. You just switch it back in later and you can Belch later. Obviously you lose the select berry boost, but it's still really useful. So that's awesome. All right. Oh, this should all be dark yellow. I actually forgot that somehow. Anyways, this was off center. Yeah. So yeah, it's just super fucking awesome, and you really love to see it. Such a cool mon. Yeah, so Belch is good. Synchronize does the same thing. However, Synchronize is much more situational. The good news is you are a pure normal type, so any Pokemon that's a normal type in this hack, you can hit with Synchronize, and that's very early at level 38. So at level 38, you get a 120 base power amplifier boosted stab move that gives you +1 special attack each time you click it. It's incredibly strong, but it is a little bit situational, so I would probably run that for a few levels. Maybe if there's a boss fight coming up ahead that has a normal type Pokemon on it, you can click Synchronize on them, you know? It's situational, but it's there for flavor, and because it's still a cool move, even if it is still relatively situational just because of the effect of the move. Why do I keep going here? I cannot multitask, man, if you cannot tell. Hold on. 68 for Loudred, yeah. Another thing is that, yes, you could technically use a Violet Loudred. All pseudo-legendaries, the Medievos, are viable Pokemon because of just their stats and the fact that they evolve with a gem. Oh shit, that should be with a gem. Yeah, as you can tell, this pseudo status was a bit last minute, although I think semi-pseudo should be gems as well. He will evolve with a gem, alright? He should evolve with a gem. That's just an oversight on my part. Normal gem, so that means that, you know, you won't get spammed with him trying to evolve every level. So if you are using a Violet Loudred, although you know what's funny, I was talking to my friends about it. A Violet Loudred is genuinely better than vanilla. Sorry, Loudred in general, just Loudred on its own is genuinely better overall than vanilla Exploud. Like, Loudred in this hack is better than vanilla Exploud because it has 15 more special attack and the same speed and more physical defense. The only thing that's lost is 30 HP, but it also has amplifier and better coverage moves and stuff. So it's kind of funny that Loudred is actually, it's 10 base stats lower than vanilla Exploud. So it's very funny the way that works out. But yeah, you know, if you love Loudred for some reason and don't like Exploud for some reason, then go ahead. I love Exploud. I actually have a plushie of him sitting on my desk as well. But yeah, Exploud's super dope. It's not like my favorite Pokemon or anything. It's just a Pokemon I happen to like a lot. We tell by the boosts I gave it. Hold on, what was that? Oh yeah, Whismer's the last one. Sorry everybody, I'm trying to multitask here, but I'm not the best at that. So yeah, Amplify is great. Okay, other moves that are Amplify boosted off the top of my head. Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice becomes 114 base power. All right, that's great. It's a 95, turns to 114. That's just an awesome, reliable stab option. Obviously, you don't get Boom Burst until 60, which is roughly Pony Island. So by the time you get the Pony Island, you'll have Boom Burst, which is 150 base power with Amplifier. And another thing is that in this hack, you have access to infinite use ability changers. So you can swap your ability, and you should be swapping your abilities often. So Scrappy is useful in very certain situations. Obviously, Amplifier is your ability, say, 70% of the time. But then that 20 or 30% of the time that there's a ghost type on the team and you don't have room for Sucker Punch or Shadow Ball or Shadow Punch or any of your dark or ghost type coverage moves, then you can slap on Scrappy. For example, you can run Scarf Scrappy or Specs Scrappy. All Specs is overkill, honestly. You're going to be running Scarf in game most of the time. But it's good for move slots, or if you just don't need the Amplifier power boost. You know, if you're running Calcs for the boss fight, oh shit, I don't need the Amplifier power boost. I may as well hit this ghost then. I don't know. You know, it's something you should always consider. But you know, Amplifier is obviously your ability for most situations. Scrappy is more of a situational thing, but it's very good in those situations. It's good for trainers as well to abuse against you because of the nature of like trainers, like switching around them is very easy to play around trainers by switching. So having Scrappy makes it so you can't switch in on a ghost. You can't switch in a ghost, excuse me, on any of them on their boom bursts or whatever other normal moves they use. So that's really good. Also fighting moves technically. So like if you have like a ghost rock or ghost steel or whatever, you can get hit with, you know, uproar. That's another. Oh yeah, that's another boosted move. I need to cover that. So uproar. Is that even on the? Did I forget that on the Land of God? No, it's right there. Yeah, Synchronized Belch and Uproar. So Synchronized and Belch are 120. Broom Burst is 125. Those all, sorry, 150 and then 144, right? Uproar is last. Uproar. So Uproar is usually a post-game tutor move for most Pokemon. However, a couple of Pokemon will get it by level up. So I went back. If you watch the Mega video, I went back and gave it to Yanmega. I also buffed it to 120 base power. Yeah, Mega has access to it now, and a couple other mons, I believe, maybe one or two more. And then a bunch more will get access to it by level up, including every single Pokemon with Amplifier will get it by level up, meaning you get it before post game. Post game's still great. Obviously, there's Rainbow Rocket, all that other fun stuff to do, but Uproar is great. Uproar becomes 144 base power fighting type move, and the good thing about it is it's actually not as inconsistent as stuff like Outrage is, because it will always last 3 turns, and it doesn't confuse you. So it's actually a pretty solid move. It's still kind of because it does lock you in, and if you're playing on set as intended, then you could potentially screw yourself over. But you know, you could run Scrappy with Uproar if you wanted, and then, you know, now technically you wouldn't maybe be screwing yourself over, although you still probably are. You got to be smart with when you click Uproar, but it's still a very powerful option nonetheless. So that's awesome. And then earlier in the game, so you have Commotion at level 30, which is very powerful. Commotion is 10 base power weaker than Hyper Voice, but Hyper Voice has no effect, while Commotion always confuses. So you trade 10 base power for a pretty good effect, although Confusion is not reliable, and I would not rely on it whatsoever. It's a 30% chance to hit yourself in this game, or 33 in Gen 7. It's not good. I would not rely on it. It's more of just, oh, this is cool. But mostly it's just so they can have an earlier option or before they get Hyper Voice via Tutor, because Hyper Voice is in the mid 40s or early 40s, depending on the level curve. But it's when you get to Ula Beach, excuse me. So that's all good shit, right? Commotion's 102 base power, right? Which is 12 base power weaker than Hyper Voice overall, but still a great move. You could even justify it over Hyper Voice if you really wanted it, although I wouldn't personally. Just prefer the damage. I would not rely on that Confusion. Another really good move though is Harmonize, Disarming Voice, and Dismal Cry. Harmonize is normal stab, and then Disarming Voice and Dismal Cry are Fairy and Dark moves. Those are 72 base power. Those are great with Amplifier as well, for early game especially. Even for something like Hala, like, you know, Disarming Voice. Obviously you're not that fast, but you're pretty. I mean, you're actually pretty bulky as Whismur. 63 defenses, and I believe it's what 49 HP or something I gave it, or 54 HP, something like that. I don't remember exactly, and I'm too lazy to change tabs because I'd rather just keep this one open. But it's pretty tanky. All right, for early game, it's very tanky, so it's pretty good there.
What are you talking about, Brock?
Yeah, mixed sets are very good. I'll talk about the mixed sets in a second. But do not sleep on that, because in this hack, you do have access to infinite use. Not only do you have access to the infinite ability capsule, you also have access to infinite and instantaneous EV training items. So you should be switching your EV spreads around. Say one boss fight, you need max speed, max special attack. Next boss fight, max HP, max attack. You know, bulk up, whatever the fuck it is, or assault vest with drain punch. You know, that kind of shit. You should definitely be switching your sets around depending on the boss fight that's coming up ahead. You know, it's not just as simple. I mean, obviously, if you're playing blind and you're just doing like a non-Nuzlocke run, just casual for fun, go ahead and use whatever the hell your heart desires. But for those people, for those of you who are wanting a more strategic challenge, then, you know, you should be doing a Nuzlocke in that case, but you also should be using the trainer sheets to like figure out what to do. And in those cases, you should definitely be swapping your EVs around for each boss fight. It's very easy to do that, and it's free, so you should definitely be taking advantage of that. Yeah, Harmonize, Disarming Voice, Dismal Cry. Those always drop attack or special attack. I low-key forget which one drops attack and which one drops special attack. I'm pretty sure Dismal Cry is definitely special attack, because that's from Snarl. I believe Harmonize and Disarming Voice are both attack though. Let me check myself, but I'm pretty sure. I low-key consider making them drop both just for consistency, so you don't have to worry about which one it drops. But yeah, it's both of them are attack. So here you go. Harmonize, Disarming Voice, and Dismal Cry. Dismal Cry is special attack, and then Stab and Fairy is Disarming Voice. Sorry, physical attack, excuse me. So those are very good options. Those are 72 base power moves with Amplifier, and you're pretty tanky, so you could totally run like an AV set with that and just become super tanky with those 3 moves. Very good stuff there as well. Very good support. You also have other great support like Parting Shot. You're relatively slow Parting Shot, not actually slow, but you could run 0 speed EVs and then you're slow or slowish, and then you can run Parting Shot and stuff, and that's great. You have a bunch of other great stuff that I'll talk about in a second, but I think that's it for the last. Oh god. Oh no, I didn't even open that. It's gonna lag and it's gonna glitch out because it's the giant. Okay, there we go. because I'm recording, so it cannot load at the same time I'm recording. Anyways, we're good now. Not the speed tier guide. Abilities. Yeah, last move is Echoed Voice. Okay, Echoed Voice. I did nerf it because I don't like how brainless those moves are in game, especially with like all the tinted lens mons and shit. Like you could totally just click tinted lens Fury Cutter and probably just 6-0 battles if you manage to get it off right, and I don't like that. So I made them a little bit inaccurate. I believe they both have 90 or 95% accuracy. So you can still run wide lens and not miss because wide lens is buffed to 15%. So you can run wide lens with that if you really want. Although Exploud isn't that fast anyways, so it's not that good on Exploud. But on a faster mon, it would be very overpowered. I'm not a fan of it in game. Obviously in competitive it's a lot harder because it's harder to get those going. But in game it's very easy to get those going if you're smart about it. That's why it's nerfed. But still a good move for early game, especially very, very powerful. I mean, the first hit is 36 base power, but then the second hit becomes 36 plus 48. The second hit is 84, and then after that you're at like 130, right? Yeah, 132, and then you're just going higher and higher until you max out at 200. So Echoed Voice is a great option still. You could even keep that up until like the mid game if you really wanted to, but not my cup of tea. Go ahead and use it though. They have a lot of better options though, so I mean, it's very strong though, so still worth it. Cheerful Look is really good utility for early game. Drops attack stats by 2. Screech and Fake Tears drop defense and special defense by 2 respectively. I did change that. If you guys are familiar with the videos, you might remember that actually Screech dropped both defenses by 1, but I changed that. I made Lear do that because it makes a lot more sense. Because why would I? That was kind of backwards the way I did that, so I ended up changing that around. If you're returning, yeah, Lear is -1 to both defenses. Screech is the same as it used to be. It's just more accurate, so that's a lot more easy to remember now. Hopefully. Sorry for the confusion, but yeah, Slack Off is great, reliable recovery. You also have Swallow plus Stockpile. Swallow was buffed to be a priority move that heals you to 100% HP no matter how much you have left. Again, all these coverage moves, you can see them all here. All these moves are buffed or changed in some regard, so I wouldn't waste too much time talking about it or thinking about it, but like, sorry, I wouldn't waste too much time talking about it, but definitely think about it because you can see all of these amazing coverage moves here that you should be swapping between, depending on the situation. You also have great stuff like priority. You have Sucker Punch, Quick Attack, and First Impression for physical priority. So despite having 20 less physical attack than special attack, physical sets are still excellent because you have that stab priority. You have Sucker Punch for, ghost and shit. Also just to have it in general because it's a strong move, 75 base power. And then you have First Impression, which is 90 base power. That's a great option as well for TM. Obviously, you're not going to be using that every boss fight, but, every once in a while you'll need that, to kit some. Kit? I wanted to say kill and hit at the same time. Yeah, to kill something, okay? It's very good. So that also encourages physical Exploud a lot. Not to mention, he has access to Belly Drum at level 65, which is great for those priority moves. Suck a bunch of Quick Attack. You can sweep a lot of fights late game with that. Battle Cry is great. Battle Cry drops both the offensive stats by 2, which is really good with Slack Off and stuff. Yawn is good utility as well. Supersonic, Z Supersonic will give you +2 special attack for the early game, so that's pretty good for boosting. Although you aren't that fast, so I wouldn't recommend it. But it's something you can use if you want it. It could be good for some fights, maybe Dulce or something. I don't know. Again, you do have a very good special attack set on Loudred and physical attack. And you're also very tanky. You're actually tankier than Exploud with a Violite, and you're only 5 points slower. The main trade-off is that you lose 35 special attack and 35, or actually even more physical attack. So Violite Loudred isn't the greatest. And I have to remind myself, let me actually just type this. Remind to add Gem Evo. There we go. I just gotta put that there. So I do that after the video. So I will change that. It'll evolve with the gem just so you can choose to evolve it technically, although most of the pseudos actually are genuinely viable, like pre-evolutions, because they have like different abilities, maybe even different typings, and very different like stat distribution. But in Loudred's case, it's just bulky or slightly slower, a lot weaker Exploud, so it's not that good. But it's definitely worth it if you like it or something. But then you're also giving up an item slot, so it's not the greatest. But it is still a good mon. I mean, it's a good mon, all right. And it's great until level 45, that's for sure. Those stats are totally good until level 45. You can also just run a Violite from like level 30-ish, early 30s when you get a Violite. Run that until 45, now you're chilling. Good mon, all right? You can also run Scarf for some fights with Expert Loudred still, or any other boosting item, or a Chopple Berry for one fight, that kind of stuff. Citrus Berry, whatever you need, depends on the occasion. I don't want to go on too many tangents here, but again, you can see all these awesome coverage moves. Some of them might seem kind of strange, but again, he already got all these, like he learned all these crazy ass moves. He already got Ice Beam and Flamethrower and Overheat, and he actually gets Hydro Pump and Gen 8, so that's not like something I added. In terms of logic, he just gets all these crazy ass moves. Psychic needs to be a new move, but I gave him Psychic because they learned Extrasensory via Egg move, and they learned Zen Headbutt naturally. So, not naturally, but via Tutor normally. So I figured why not give him Psychic. I mean, normal types get a lot of weird fucking moves, so who cares? Yeah, good utility, Parting Shot, all that other shit I mentioned earlier. Synchronizing belt. Belch is super awesome, man. Dude, give that belt set a try. It'll be fun as hell. That's for sure. Even if it's not that good, it's very fun. It's honestly pretty damn good, actually. Level 40 is very early for that, and that's good coverage as well. Not good coverage, but it's solid coverage. It's fairies and stuff, and grasses and stuff. But you know, it's a good move, man. 120 base power, 100% accurate, +1 special attack, and it's amplifier boosted. It's a good move. Don't sleep on Belch, y'all. Synchronize is also pretty good, but it's a little bit situational. Still a good move though. Yeah, Uproar, incredibly powerful. That's 120. I already covered that. I'm not gonna be a broken record here. Oh, Roar is great. Z Roar also encourages physical sets a lot on Exploud. Not only do you have Dragon Dance and Bulk Up and all this other good physical setup. So basically, physical sets have Bulk Up, Dragon Dance, priority moves, maybe more coverage. Probably about the same actually. More priority options, that kind of thing. All right, that's a lot better than special sets. Although special sets have the power of Amplifier Boom Burst and Amplifier Hyper Voice and all this other stuff. But pick and choose. You should be switching between those two. You're not just bound to one the entire game. You can alternate. So that's really cool. I wanted physical Exploud to still be a good option. So yeah, that's really awesome. Roar, Z Roar. So Roar and Whirlwind, they're both reworked to be priority moves that have 1 PP, and that's for phasing purposes. So you can instantly force the opponent out if they are boosting in your face and you're scared and you're gonna wipe. It's like a kind of it's a move slot that you can't ever get back for the rest of that fight. You use it once, and it's not reteachable via tutor or TM. It's only reteachable via relearner in the post game or Elite Four. So you are giving up a move slot, but it's very, very useful. It can definitely save your ass. And Z Whirlwind gives +3 speed, while Z Roar gives +2 attack. And what that means is you essentially get a risk-free Swords Dance. So at level 46, you learn Roar. So that's roughly around the time you'll be fighting Nanu anyways. So once you get that Darkinium Z, you can go for that Z Roar, and you can go to town with physical sets. You get a totally free Swords Dance. It's an awesome option. Obviously, that's not reteachable, so you might only be able to use that for a few fights, and then maybe you'll have to get rid of it for something else, especially if you're doing a team lock Nuzlocke. That's something I'm gonna talk about that when I stream my run. It'll be really fun. Try that if you haven't. It's very fun. Well, this is not relevant. It's not too much else anyways. How is literally just Nasty Blood and Swords Dance in one move. Also keep in mind setup moves do have nerfed PP just for balancing purposes, and also it's a lot harder to set up versus trainers in this hack because of the power levels and also because of anti-setup things I put into practice, such as Taunt and Whirlwind and all this other stuff that trainers will have. So you should definitely keep that in mind. But what else is there? Yeah, Z-Howl gives +2. Sorry, not Z-Howl, just Howl in general gives +2 to both offenses, which might seem like kind of a waste of a move because you already have Nasty Blood and Swords Dance. However, with Power Trip, Howl becomes 100 base power, all right? 100 base power off the first Power Trip, and Power Trip gains 20 base power and gives you +1 attack each time you use it now. The downside being it only has 3 PP, but it's still a great move. So, how Power Trip Agility or something, that would be pretty fucking funny. Or like how Power Trip Quick Attack or something, that kind of thing, or Sucker Punch. You could totally run that, and it would be pretty solid. Double Edge is good physical stab, GK Impact. Hyper Beam is also slightly stronger than Boom Burst with Amplifier, and Scrappy Hyper Beam is great. Obviously that lowers your special attack stat by 2, but still worth it in some cases. Tons of awesome coverage. I'm not going to cover all these, or you can see all of them. He gets Earth Power, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Ice Punch, all the punches, literally like every type in the game basically. So he's big chillin' in terms of coverage. Most Pokemon get basically a shitload of coverage now. Again, this would be ridiculous and competitive because then nothing would have any counters and it would be absolutely chaotic. But this is not designed for competitive. This is designed for in-game use. And in-game use is, okay, I can use my favorite Pokemon or I can use weird-ass Pokemon and I can get the job done. All right, that's the purpose here. That's the goal. It's not to make a balanced metagame for competitive. This would be fucking hilariously unplayable. It would be fun, but it would be unplayable. Really, that's about it. Honestly, there's a couple other things I could touch on. Avalanche is a good move. 150 base power, minus priority, 90% accurate. That's a great move. Belly Drum is great. I already covered that. Yeah, that's about it. A couple other things I could touch on, but I'm not going to waste time. I think it covers about everything. Whismer is good for up until level 25. That'll evolve in Midakala. Very good mon, 76 visual attack. Solid bulk. It's a solid mon. And then Ladrod's great. Exploud's incredible. I love these mons. So I hope you guys do as well. A little bit longer video. Sorry about the rambling. But I wanted to talk about a lot of stuff. I really like Exploud. So I realize that changes. Exploud in general. Exploud in vanilla is kind of whack and shitty. But like, I don't know. In this hack, he's so cool. So yeah. Thank you for listening. and I will be back for more later. Goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, by the way, again, link to the Google Sheets in the description. Check all this stuff out for yourself if you want. Recommend it to your friends. Tell your friends about this kind of stuff. That'd be pretty cool for me. You know, exposure and whatnot. Also, leaving a comment down below and leaving a like would help with the algorithm. Also, if you listened this far into the video, definitely leave a comment first of all if you listened this far. Let me know if you did. And also, if you're not subscribed and listen this far, you should definitely be subscribed. That would be helpful for me and for you. So thank you very much. Last thing I'll say is Discord server link is also in the description. You can see updates on the hack. You can play my older hack and all that good stuff. So thank you and goodbye.